Hello everyone, and welcome to another Software and Internet Monthly Market Report brought to you by Sanford Advisors. June was a really busy month again, and we'll see this in terms of how the year is shaping up, but $31.7 billion invested in the month of June, 189 transactions, and 7.2 times median revenue multiple. And obviously some really large multi-billion-dollar deals happening for Cloudera, Plex, CloudGuru, and etc. Some interestingly disclosed multiples as well. So Cloudera traded for 6.0 times revenue. CloudGuru was obviously more than that. It was 35 times revenue, and Quad was about 6.3 times. So some very large transactions happening, obviously driving up the total dollar volume that is invested in M&A, but very encouraging to kind of see the continued trend of these large transactions. You can really see what that means for the year. We've already basically coming up to where we were for the whole of 2020 and the whole of 2019, which were coincidentally both the record highs for the recent period of time. So, we're obviously on track to significantly exceed those numbers, both on a dollar volume basis, but also on a number of transactions. And I think really for the mid-market, that's the most encouraging thing we've seen, is that the M&A market across the whole of the software space has been lifted, and the mid-market is really benefiting from the amount of money that's coming in from strategics and private equity. And we can kind of see that with the trajectory that was expected to be about 2,100 transactions for the year, which would be significantly above the recent number that was hit in 2018 of 1,700. On the valuation side of things, the non-SaaS deals kind of ticked along around the same kind of level, in and around 3 times revenue. Really what's the encouraging thing is on the SaaS side of stuff. Obviously, this is the hottest part of the market right now, and we've seen a real continued recovery there. Obviously a bit of a dip last year to 4.2 times, and now the average for 2021 is 7.1. I think we would expect this to end up is between 6 and 7 times for the year would be the average that we're seeing. So it might come down a little bit in the second half of the year, but still very healthy relative to the previous high that was in 2019. And you can really see the monthly deal count here and the context that we've really been talking about for quite a few months now, which is the chart really shows the recovery of the M&A market. We obviously hit a low last April or May of about 62 transactions, and that's really rebounded quite significantly for the fourth quarter of last year and the rest of 2021. And we've been averaging in around like 150 plus deals per month, which is really encouraging to see, and way ahead of pre-pandemic levels as well, which were, that was ticking down pre-pandemic anyway. And so, while we hit 189 deals for June, we're probably going to see a little bit of a slowdown over the summer like we normally would, but we would expect this to at least average 150 deals a month for the rest of the year, given the level of activity that we're really seeing right now in the market. On the VC side of stuff, very similar trends. So in June, $10.2 billion invested, 462 transactions, and a median deal size of 5.8 million. Some really large transactions, obviously. There's many of these deals that are done in the hundreds of millions of dollars, which is really encouraging from all the kind of tier A investors that you expect. So really encouraging to see that the large side of the market is also doing very well in terms of the amount of investment that's going there. And you can kind of see here both on the dollar volume basis. So, if we've already exceeded the 2020 high that we hit last year of 51.4 billion for the year. So we're 6 months in, and we're already ahead of that. If we annualize that, we're on track to over $110 billion, which is kind of crazy compared to the recent years that we've seen. There's probably going to be, as I said, in the M&A market, same thing in the VC market, a little bit of a slowdown here over the summer. But, all things point to a very positive year, and most likely a year where we do at least the amount of transactions that we've kind of seen pre-2020 of that, north of 6,300 transactions on a yearly basis. So very encouraging signs on the VC side of things as well. And then lastly, you can see the multiples, which have really exploded this year. Anyway, hope you enjoy the month and see you next month.